With Florida, with California, you're looking about around 200 billion in insurance claims, and that's going to be an issue, right? That's going to be an issue for the housing market in the sense that if you get a mortgage, you have to pay insurance, right? So there's this $200 billion hit that some of these insurers are going to take, like Allstate, and we're going to see who pays for it.
Approved fire management assistance grants to reimburse California for firefighting costs, and the president
Now, I think Trump should make Mexico pay for it.
immediately approved the state's request for a major disaster declaration for California, allowing impacted communities and survivors to immediately access funds and resources to jumpstart their recovery. As you just heard from the president moments ago, we have made some progress over the last 24 hours. Overnight, local, state, and federal firefighters partially contained some of the largest
And that thing's still
wildfires.
burning.
There is still a long way to go, but we will continue to be with the people of California every step of the way.
It's really hard right now on the cost of the disaster to put a number on it because we haven't been able to assess how much of the infrastructure has been damaged. I mean, we know the thousands of homes that have been impacted, but the real cost of these disasters comes from how much of the actual infrastructure has been damaged.
So housing is just going to be, you're going to see it so much difficulty to get into housing because your rates on insurance are just going to skyrocket if you want to get a mortgage, right? And along with the 10-year, we just talked about the 10-year going up, mortgage rates are going to go up too. It's going to be impossible. I mean, not impossible, but it's going to be pretty darn hard to get housing, right? So that fish that Gavin Newsom saved, man, that fish better grow up to cure cancer or build some really cheap houses, right?
Roads, the water system, the power, but also the soft costs and the economic impact. We know that this is going to be billions. And so we really want to continue to focus right now on whatever we can do to continue to support California in getting this fire suppressed and starting this recovery process. And again, thanks to the bipartisan support of Congress, we have enough funding to support those recovery efforts and these response efforts. Yeah, I mean, I would really defer to the city and the county for the specifics, but what I have been briefed is that it was an overload of the system, right? There were so many simultaneous fires that happened at once.
So I don't know if you guys have been following, but everything that could have went wrong, right? It wasn't just the reservoirs. It was everything, right? Everything you could possibly do wrong went wrong during that fire.
Once there was multiple firefighting resources that were utilizing and using the water system to put out these fires, and it put a strain on the system. And it takes time for that system to then regenerate. But the specifics on it, I really just want to make sure that you talk with them. As we heard from, the Los Angeles City Fire Chief yesterday, they plan for this. They have other resources available with water tenders, and now we have the ability to fly the aircraft into these communities to help put that fire out. And so it really, you talk about the multiple simultaneous fires that started, and it just put a strain on the system, from my understanding.
President Biden committed to 180 days of 100% match on recovery funds. Just technically, how
y'all feel about that?
To 6 months when he's only going to be in office for 10 more days. Is that locked in, or could that change if the next administration has a different idea?
This is a practice
Empty fire hydrants,
that many administrations have utilized to help support the immediate needs in the response to one of these major catastrophic disasters. And what we want to be able to do is recognize the catastrophic impact of that. And the president has the authority through the statute, through law, to be able to commit this amount of funding to support the recovery efforts. I would hope that we look at this, as I think Corrine said earlier, that these are communities that have had a catastrophic impact, and that we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can as a federal family to support them on this recovery journey. The statute, the law allows us to do exactly what we did and allows the president to make that determination. And this is what they need. They need.
So if you don't know, I'm an investment advisor and or investment advisor representative. It doesn't have the same ring to it. Same thing though. Same thought. You got to kind of wonder, what are you going to invest in, right? So these insurance companies are definitely going to take a hit, right? Companies like Zillow are definitely going to have some bad quarters, right? Because housing is going to become less available. It's going to become more expensive. Less people are going to start shopping, right? So, you got to think where the wind. I saw a lot of building materials go up today, but what's going on with the 10-year, I don't think that's a good play. I think to kind of like if you have a list, if you write a list of what to invest in, if you first of all you should be working with a professional, but if you're the type to wants to do that kind of thing on your own, you got to kind of look at how low these insurance companies go, right, before they become buyable again, right? But yeah, this is nuts.
This support in order to facilitate the recovery that's going to have to happen.
And just a quick follow, does that mean that it can't be rolled back?
I mean, I'm certain that, anybody can make a determination on if they want to do something or not, but this was done according to the statute, and I would think that the statute would say that this is the direction that needs to happen and that it shouldn't be rolled back.